tell you for a fact that this election is between.
They sold form recently for 100 million.
There's no meaningful development that can happen without peace, without us being united.
Arrest all unregistered vehicles.
I think we have shown the depth and breadth of talent in our Conservative Party.
Because you want to prevent a situation whereby that powdery substance will be flushed immediately.
All right, a very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us on a fresh edition of Straight Talk right here on Bright Television, home of talk and entertainment. Don't forget that the program is basically designed to look deep into issues that affect Nigeria as a country and Nigerians as citizens. Welcome to the program. My name is AYOBAMI. Kindly follow us on all our social media platforms on Instagram, Facebook, and catch us live on YouTube. Make sure you get your TS TV decoder channel 102 on TS TV Africa. Well, in the media space, lots of reactions as lots of candidates and of course political parties are preparing for the 2023 elections. Indication in issues of course indicates that many political parties are not okay with the policy given by the CBN as regards the withdrawal limits, and of course many political parties are saying it's going to crap political funding for this period. And some other political parties, especially the opposition party, People's Democratic Party, said that if President Muhammadu Buhari had no access to funding in 2024, it would have been so difficult for him to be the president, meaning that this will affect the policy, will affect logistic issues, and of course paying party agents in different sectors and of course in different levels. That is one of the conversation on the program. Of course, we'll definitely shift our gear to a very interesting state, a state where has been of course the food basket of the whole nation indeed, but lots of pockets of crises and of course chaos in that particular region. As we gradually approach 2023, people of this particular state will be looking inwards, and of course to elect the round peg in the right hole, and will be that particular person that can fit in to secure lives and properties of people of the great Benue state. My guests will definitely be part of the conversation after this break. Don't forget, once again, make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms. AYOBAMI ADEYEMO is my name. We'll go for a short break. When we return, I'll unveil my guests. We'll definitely look deep into Benue state and of course the politics right there. We'll be back after this break. Stay with us, please.
Tell you for a fact that this election is between.
They sold form recently for 100 million.
There's no meaningful development that can happen without peace, without us being united.
Arrest all unregistered vehicles.
I think we have shown the depth and breadth of talent in our Conservative Party.
Because you want to prevent a situation whereby that powdery substance will be flushed immediately.
Thank you so much for still staying with us. Straight Talk right here on Bright Television, home of talk and entertainment. We're looking at the state of the nation, especially the Benue politics as we speak right now, as we prepare for the 2023 elections. And joining me to have a deep conversation on this particular subject matter as a former House of Representative member representing Jeshira Federal Constituency in Benue State. She was part of this move in 2023 and of course 2027. A former member of UNPP, and of course the one and only person named as Yes Mama of the Zenith Labour Party. I'm talking about Her Excellency Chief Mrs. SHARON AONDONA DABOH-FIASE. Thank you so much for joining us on the program this beautiful morning.
Thank you.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you. Trying to check the past records, and of course, you contested under UNPP at that time, and it's about time to move to another party now, Zenith Labour Party.
Zenith Labour Party.
What happened? Why did you leave the UNPP? Let's kick off from that angle.
Okay. Well, the UNPP actually died a natural death because we got into the House of Reps. We were only two, myself and an honorable from the Idoma speaking tribe. It was only Benue State that produced people from the UNPP. And after we got into the House, my colleague actually jumped ships and he went into the PDP. And I said, nope, I'm not going anywhere. Nigerians must know that there is a Nigerian politician who is principled. There is a Nigerian politician who believes in ideology. You can't be in opposition. Your ideologies can't be that of X and the next minute you're in a party of Y. So I remained in the UNPP. I finished my tenure unbelievably in the UNPP as the only member of the National Assembly for 4 years. And then thereafter, I actually went on a sabbatical leave. And I'll tell you now, as at the time I joined the UNPP in 2002, my late father of blessed memory, Daddy, I love you. May your soul continue to rest in peace. Was Chief Dr. Godwin Dabo Azwana, or if you if you double me, I taka you fame. Dabo. And at that time was my late dad, the National Deputy Auditor of the PDP. So he was actually a PDP chieftain. But I knew long ago, I'm one of the few Nigerians who knew that the way these political parties, the PDP and the rest, were running this country, they were going to run it aground. Therefore, I refused to be on that side.
Well, you refused to join the PDP
yes.
At that point in time.
My father was, yes.
In fact, you also mentioned that your dad worked against your re-election at a point in time.
Oh, yes, he did. Because he wanted the Senate. He was actually wanting to go to the Senate.
So there were a lot of interest, conflict of interest.
I wasn't actually a politician. All I did was a humanitarian gesture during the Obasanjo regime when the military invaded Zakibiam. Out of compassion, I just went in, first batch, boom, I bought 50 trailers of relief materials, which were saying these aren't announcements that you don't see. I took them from one local government to the other, even the local governments that were not affected directly. But we had IDPs that had run off. I mean, they had all spread around the state. I also went further to Taraba, the IDPs in Taraba. I went to the IDPs in Plateau. I went to the IDPs in Nasarawa to show that I wasn't after anything. And that was when they now dragged me into politics. So my father was already into politics and had wanted to go into the Senate. And when I joined, that wasn't why I didn't join the PDP. Like I said, and I repeat, it was because I had opposed the manner in which this country was being run. And I thank God today I'm vindicated, because anything that doesn't stand on truth or fair play or reasonability would definitely crash and implode. For crying out loud, why can't most Nigerian politicians just do things right?
Well, a lot of questions are popping into my head right now. When you say politicians, people will also ask you, are you not into politics?
Oh, yes,
The way
I am a politician.
The way introduced you as a politician, are you a politician?
Certainly, proudly I'm a politician, but I'm a different breed of a politician.
A different breed of a politician.
That's why I remained in one political party, in the UNPP for 4 years at the National Assembly. Who would do that? Who has that credential in Nigeria of having that kind of stability of character and integrity? Secondly, I'm a different politician because while I was in the House of Reps, I was a subcommittee chairperson of AMAC because my party was not big enough to have a substantive chairmanship position. And I never gave myself a single piece of land. And as the chairperson of AMAC in the National Assembly, I mean, imagine I was in charge of lands like Maitama, Sokoro, Wusetu. These are lands that goes in the hundreds of millions. But I never gave myself any piece. Thirdly, I'm a different politician because from the local government level to the national level, if you ask anybody, Her Excellency AONDONA SHARON DABOH has never, ever gone to anybody to get a contract from my state, from my local government, or wherever. I'm a different politician because I believe in ideologies. I don't believe in being in one party in the morning, by noon you're in a different party, in the evening you're a different party. So and then most importantly, I'm a politician that the fear of God and compassion is my watchword.
Well, indeed, Zenith Labour Party now fits your ideology as we speak right
Certainly.
now. And you are the gubernatorial candidate of ZLP for Benue State. Well, a lot of questions from every angle. Just recently, INEC posted a comment saying that only People's Democratic Party, Labour Party, or Progressive Congress are feeding candidates for all elective positions in Benue State. What happened to Labour Party? Is that going to affect your chances of?
I'm not Labour. Points of
correction.
Zenith Labour Party.
What happened to your Zenith? To your Zenith Labour Party, ZLP. Would that affect your chances of becoming the first governor, woman governor or lady governor of Benue State? Would that affect it?
Certainly not. I mean, people usually make the mistake of saying, "Oh, you must have XYZ." Candidates in your party to be able to win. Now that translates to 2 tickets being tied. Each ticket differs, and that's where I talk about your person. And thank God Nigerians have shifted away from the ideology of voting political parties into voting the right candidates. Therefore, each candidate is now on his or her own. And I've done it before. When I contested elections in the UNPP, I didn't have any other candidates. I didn't have local government chairman. I didn't have state of assembly. I didn't have, any candidate. But the people took me for who I am. The people knew that I'm a leader of compassion. The people knew that I'm a selfless leader. Because if, as a non-politician, I could care for the people genuinely, not because I needed their votes, certainly the people do know that this is the right person, and that was what happened. Because I contested election, it was a mean contest. I contested against a very popular commissioner then, by the name Tehembashija, who is a lecturer or was a lecturer at the Kefi University, and he was like the de facto governor, very powerful. He resigned from the PDP to contest against me, but the people said, no, this is our daughter, because then I wasn't married. This is our daughter that we believe in, that we love, that has shown us so much love, unconditional love. By the way, that reminds me, would you believe that my contest in 2002 was a historic contest? It was a contest to show you how popular I am politically in Benue. Before me, no unmarried girl, that's a daughter, was allowed to contest an election in Benue State. In Tivland, rather. It was an abomination. It was a taboo from when God created the thief people. That was also why my late father never also believed in me, because he was like, oh, Fumi, you know, my late mother is Yoruba, she's from Ondo, blessed memory too as well. He was like, oh, Fumi, you're not serious, it's an abomination, it can never happen in Tivland. I'm talking about my biological father now, late Godwin Dabo. And when I contested, when the people dragged me into politics and I contested, they said that taboo, that jinx, we're going to break it because of the love we have for our daughter. And it happened. I became the first unmarried thief girl to ever be allowed to contest an election in Tivland. And sadly, till date, no other thief girl, that record has not been equaled nor broken by any other thief girl till date. So what does that tell you? That tells you that it's about me. It's not about the political party I belong. And now it's even easier for me than 20 years ago. You know why? A lot of people have suffered. The politics in Nigeria hasn't been right. So they are very eager now at the moment. And they want to fulfill that prophecy they had requested of me 20 years ago to contest governorship, because actually I was asked to contest governorship 20 years ago.
So a lot of years now.
Yes,
20
to say
years.
thank you to me, or thank you our daughter for what you did. But I said nope, I wasn't doing what I did to be thanked. I was doing it because that's what God says, be your brother's keeper.
Well, a lot of definite responsibility for you as the governor of Benue State. As we speak right now, we know that a lot of issues are in Benue State, especially when it comes to clashes between the herders and farmers right there. Securing lives and properties is also one of the priority that any governor of Benue State will want to consider. And of course, to bring back that glory of the food basket of the nation into place as Benue State. What are your plans as regards this?
Oh, excellent plans. But I would like to kindly allow you indulge me to finish up the other question.
I'm going to indulge you on that, but I want, because a lot of people are asking. It's not about trying to get to any political party now. It's about people of Benue State.
Certainly,
the good people of Benue
and that's
State.
why I'm yes mother.
All right. So how do you say yes to their livelihood, to secure the lives and properties of people in Benue? Let's get to that.
Okay. First and foremost, I'm assuring my Benue people that Benue is going to become, by the grace of God, one of the most prosperous states in Nigeria, competing with states like Rivers, Lagos, and Bayelsa in terms of revenue. Benue State ought to be, if not the richest, but one of the richest states in Nigeria. And that's because of the natural resources Benue is endowed with. Now, all through my life, like I said to you, I'm also a different politician, because even though I'm a politician, I don't do contracts. I'm an entrepreneur. I was an entrepreneur before I joined politics, and I have remained an entrepreneur. Personally, I have two industries that when I set up in Benue, I had refused to set up those industries elsewhere, because I knew this day would come for me to fulfill the wish of my people, the wishes of the Benue people of 2002, when they asked me to be governor of Benue State. Thereby, my two industries alone, personal industries now, which is of export quality standard, would employ thousands of people when I set it up in Benue State with love. I'm into beauty and I'm into well-being, wellness. Therefore, that's one aspect. But most importantly, because I'm going to be generating my funds from Benue to run the state, I'm going to give the local government autonomy. That's the first thing I'm going to do.
Well, it's a conversation that is ongoing, and
yes, but I'm going to make sure Benue State does it. I don't need the federal government allocation. I'm sorry to say, but the governors who wait for federal government allocation are governors that just love the federal government.
So how do you intend to now generate more
Exactly,
revenue?
that's where I'm going to.
All right.
Number one, like you rightly said, Benue is the food basket of the nation. Thereby, agriculture is my number one priority. Two, I'm going to dredge the river Benue. Because the river Benue is a dynamite of wealth, of employment. You can't count the number of jobs that dredging the river Benue will bring about for the citizens of Benue. And that also comes in with a lot of wealth. Now, in order to do that, I would have to make it a priority. Then I come to industrialization. I would industrialize Benue by first and foremost partnershiping with His Excellency Gabriel Towu-Asuswan, my senator now in the National Assembly, whom has brought about, I would say, one of the, if not the best bill Nigeria has ever passed, the Nigeria Senate or the Nigerian National Assembly. You know why? The problems of Nigeria is that of electricity. With electricity, we'll industrialize. We can't industrialize without electricity. Once we have electricity in Nigeria and people are allowed to generate their individual powers, like the governor has said and passed the bill, then will this country just kick off at a supersonic speed. I tell you that when there's electricity in Nigeria, when state governments generate electricity, Aba is going to be better than China. Write it down. Because Nigerians are one of the most intelligent human beings on the surface of this earth. I have been privileged to be around all the continents of the world. And there is no set of human beings as intelligent as Nigerians. Now, when there's electricity, by generating my own electricity, it takes care of industrialization. It takes care of the issue of the wastage we experience in the agricultural produce. We don't benefit anything at the moment from being the food basket of the nation, because 3/4 of what we produce wastes. Now, also, would I generate a lot of money
Well,
from that, because I'm going to fix the roads. You can't industrialize with bad roads. I will fix the roads and take the bill to the federal government, and they will have to pay me. I'm not going to wait for the federal government to come fix my roads, because the federal government is not suffering. It's my people that suffer. I weep when I see women, when I see old people suffer and labor to farm, and they can't earn the fruits of their labor.
Well, you talked about, agriculture as one of the major priorities that you face.
River Benue, dredging of River Benue,
let's stick to
agriculture, electricity to industrialize, fixing of roads,
infrastructural facilities at large.
Oh yes.
All right, let's think, just stick around agriculture in a bit.
Therefore, in a couple of years,
I want you to answer the security issue now.
Okay.
When it comes to farmers, herders, and of course uniting people in Benue State, agriculture has been facing such challenge.
Exactly.
So how do you intend to do that?
Well, I would want to say to Mr. President, His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, as the father of the nation, I will want to speak the truth to His Excellency, even though he's got just a few months to go. The issue of security, Mr. President, can never be addressed properly when people are hungry.
Is that what is causing the issue in Benue State, right?
It's tied together, nationally and in Benue. It trickles down to Benue. Hunger, unemployment, these are the causes of insecurity in Nigeria. Therefore, I'm pleading and begging, I'm on my knees, Mr. President, General Muhammadu Buhari, kindly do the little you can do ASP, speeding up, to create lots of jobs for our teeming youth in particular. Because it's the teeming youth that has the energy to do this stuff, and they are idle. So what do you actually expect of the youth? I don't blame the people who are carrying out these nefarious activities, but I'm not encouraging it, it must be noted. But do they really have an option? Do they really have a choice? A lot of Nigerian leaders do not know what happens with the ordinary Nigerians. They have made governance so Draculian that people in government exclude themselves, and they don't bother to know how the ordinary citizens are suffering. Would you want to pick up arms and be a herdsman? Would you want to be a Boko Haram? No, because you do have a stable job, you have a life to look forward to, but they don't. So in order to address that, I need the help of the federal government. And if any governor says he or he alone, for now it's he, can address the issue of insecurity alone, that governor is a liar. I'm going to address insecurity with my people. It's the people that will give information to the security agents that, oh, we're seeing suspicious characters here, please security agents move in. It's the people that would also be the watchdog of themselves. I want Nigerians to know that no government can secure you if you are not doing your part to secure yourself. But of course, all the government agencies will work better in Benue, the security agencies, to assist and to make security right. Because yes, farming has been literally brought to a halt in Benue due to the farmer-herders clashes, which is rather pathetic. And then I'm going to be more vigorous about the clashes in Benue, but my style is going to differ from my current governor, His Excellency Samuel Otom, whom I love so much for doing a fantastic job to make sure he hasn't sold out Benue. But Your Excellency, my darling dad, I must confess to you that maybe your approach is not subtle. Be a little bit subtle with Mr. President.
So you feel his approach is not subtle now?
Yes, I think the approach sometimes is a little bit too, you know, too I don't even know what
I want you to use the words that you, but you know,
it should just be a little bit more subtle. Mr. President is the father of the nation. That's you see, the manner in which you approach someone or something matters, and that is what makes the difference.
So now, what now?
I'm sure if the governor talks in a better style to Mr. President, his father and my father and the nation's father, he will be more disposed to listen better.
A lot of things you've said, and one of the things that I just want to take up before we go for the break is the approach of Governor, His Excellency Governor.
Yes, I don't feel I don't feel it's 100% right or the best. I think he should tone it down.
All right, down.
Yes, because whatever it is, Mr. President is the CEO of Nigeria.
Well, he is also the CEO of his own state.
Certainly.
So the job you'll be picking, you'll be the CEO of your state.
But he can't do it alone. He needs the assistance of the federal government.
Okay, Governor Otom has supported a lot of policies.
I support him 100% on
especially the community policing.
His style is what I don't support on approaching the president.
Right,
I don't support that.
If you are elected as the governor of Benue State, you will not be working with President Muhammadu Buhari. Definitely, you have another president to be working with. So, definitely, your approach is to see how to have a synergy with the federal government in bringing security. Are you going to support community policing, state policing, or you still want to stick to the structure of the policing we have in Nigeria?
The issue with Nigeria are not the structures on ground. The structures we have are perfect. But it's the proper utilization and the functionability of the structures. Nigerians don't need to waste time and energy and money saying they are creating new things. Let the ones that are on ground work, because they are not working.
Intelligence gathering, intelligence delivering is also very critical. So how do you engage the good people of Benue State to get more information from them?
Oh, when the people, it also has to do with educating the people. You see, lots of Nigerians are not properly educated about lots of things. So they tend to bring out the wrong outputs. When you put in the wrong thing, you get the wrong output. You're putting square pegs in round holes.
So we need to get the round pegs in the round holes.
Certainly, certainly. And better enlightenment.
Well, we're due for a break now. Your Excellency will definitely approach a lot of conversation, especially knowing fully well that you have other political parties to also contend with. The ruling party in your state, People's Democratic Party, is right there. The ruling party at the federal level, All Progressive Congress, where we have a cleric who is also making waves and making news in Benue State right now.
Who used to make waves that make
well, according to a lot of statistics. We'll go for that break. What I see my guests in the studio with us. We'll be looking at some of the political part of Benue State, and of course, as we prepare for 2023 general elections. We're back after this break. Stay with us, please.
Tell you for a fact that this election is between.
They sold farm recently for 100 million.
There's no meaningful development that can happen without peace, without us being united.
Arrest all unregistered vehicles.
I think we have shown the depth and breadth of talent in our Conservative Party.
Because you want to prevent a situation whereby that powdery substance will be flushed immediately.
Tell you for a fact that this election is between.
They sold farm.
Welcome to another exciting episode of Let's Talk.
Now, there was a story that was told about the twins brother who their father was an alcoholic. The other one grew up to become an alcoholic. The other one grew up not touching alcohol. And they asked two of them, he said, did you see what alcohol did to my father?
I didn't want to be like him.
I don't want to be like him.
Everywhere you go, this woman has split from her husband, this man has left his family. We don't think it's going to help us as a people, as a nation.
Sense to listen to you because I know that I might actually not know this. You see, that overrated this thing is, I don't even want to know.
Skit Chat, right here on Bright Television, the home of talk and entertainment. Skit Chat.
Fantabulous. No, you are doing well.
I know you very well. Your daughter that is looking for husband.
Skit Chat.
Put your daughter for Kobo bid. Yeah! Auctioner, so they will bid for her.
So they give you better thing to do. What's going on here? Is it fair? They shade. Now so many they shade people.
That's when he doesn't even have hair.
Yeah! Kitchen.
Jesus! Please. All right, standing by.
Excuse me, sir.
This man.
Master shot, take one. Action!
Kitchen.
Hey, Jesus!
What is this?
This man wants to wound me.
Look at how you're disgracing yourself.
This guy
You
wants
told me you can handle this, man.
Kitchen. Right here on Bright Television, the home of talk and entertainment. Don't forget, you can also watch us on DSTV Africa, channel 102, Bright Television. Skit Chat. We celebrate creativity.
Tell you for a fact that this election is between.
They sold form recently for 100 million.
There's no meaningful development that can happen without peace, without us being united.
Arrest all unregistered vehicles.
I think we have shown the depth and breadth of talent in our Conservative Party.
Because you want to prevent a situation whereby that powdery substance will be flushed immediately.
All right, thank you so much for still staying with us. Straight Talk right here on Bright Television, home of talk and entertainment. I have my guest in the studio with us, the governorship candidate of ZENITH Labour Party, and of course, who is better known as a Yes Mother, Her Excellency, Chief Mrs. SHARON
AONDONA
DABOH-FIASE. Yes, thank you so much for joining us on the program.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
All right, before we have the break, we're looking at different political parties that will also be in the race with you as we speak right now. Well, ZENITH Labour Party is definitely fielding you as their candidate, and you'll be facing parties like People's Democratic Party, where you have a candidate who has been the Speaker of the House of the State House of Assembly.
He still is, not has been.
Has been, and of course, he still is
yeah.
the State House of Assembly, and his own nomination is another subject matter. We have the candidate of All Progressive Party, APC, the ruling party at the federal level, Reverend Father Alia, is also pulling stunts and waves in your particular state. You have your candidate from Labour Party as well, your ZENITH Labour Party. You have yourself right there. So it's a big, we have lots of big names alongside. You are also a big name with the Dabo, even from your father's, great hard work.
If you tackle me, I dabble you.
So are you ready for the tackle and dabble?
Oh yes, anyway, I'm going to dabble anybody.
Let's look at it one after one at a time. The ruling party, the People's Democratic Party in your state, has a candidate that a lot of people are saying, well, if Otom would definitely leave, you want to leave, put his own successor, somebody from his political party. How will you actually, tackle double such candidate from that party? Let's leave it like that. I want to hear your reaction.
Well, the interesting and the lucky thing about my competitors or candidates of other parties, I don't even need to dabble them, because they are actually working against themselves. Some of them by the very nature of how they emerged. I mean, there's none of the two contenders I have that their emergence isn't questionable. Now, let's start from the ruling party of the PDP, Titus Uba, who is actually my brother, my senior brother. We're from the same village, from the same local government, because the governorship of Benue State, luckily for me, is actually zoned directly between my local government and my husband's area. That's the Kunaf people and the Kwandi people. And the Kwandi people used to say, oh, they were cheated out, they were edged out, but they are the happiest today because their mother and their wife, Chief Honorable Mrs. DABOH-FIASE, is now a gubernatorial candidate. So they are very happy and they are now so very supportive. Now, the PDP candidate, Titus Uba, emergence didn't go very well with a lot of the PDP people. We hear, I'm not in the PDP, but from what we hear from the outside. Therefore, that was what actually helped the APC candidate before my declaration. Because a lot of people who are aggrieved with their candidate in the PDP said, oh, rather than have a candidate we don't agree with, as they say, as they allege, we are going to work for the opposition party, the APC, whom it's a reverend father, whom we believe will be better than the person, according to them, isn't smart enough to be the next governor of Benue State. In fact, the day he was nominated, I understand that Senator Suswan, His Excellency, our senator, did say that they were going to get consultants to work for him. I mean, how is that tenable? Yes, you could get consultants to work, but not to think for you. So, the PDP candidate has already shown the people of Benue that he has nothing to offer.
As a serving speaker.
Oh yes, not just as a serving speaker, as a de facto governor. A speaker of a state is as powerful as a governor, if not more powerful, because he appropriates the funds.
So he's not capable to actually handle.
The questions are, these questions will answer you. Number one, for the 7.5 years Titus Uba has been the speaker, of what benefit has he been to the people of Benue? Before now, of what benefit was Titus Uba to the large population of the IDPs, the downtrodden, the sick, the wounded? How many good advices has he been able to pull through with the governor, Samuel Otom, His Excellency? Because I usually say to people, and I'm saying to the Benue people today, that it is most unfair when you people just blame His Excellency Samuel Otom all the time alone. Because you people forget that he's got lieutenants, he's got commissioners, he's got local government chairmen who are supposed to assist him in the job of governance. Or haven't these people been paid? That's the mistake that is made all over Nigeria. You just don't blame a governor. Yeah. Although the buck stops at the governor's table.
He's the leader. He's definitely
the leader.
The governor.
And that's where you need to rule, with the cane and the carrot.
So you're going to use the structure of
yes, certainly.
The pattern of ruling with the cane and
for instance, I'm going to give the local governments their funds directly. After a while, that's the first law I'm going to pass. Thank God I'm a lawmaker. And then thereafter, I'm going to have an iron cane, not an ordinary cane. My deputy governor is going to be a working governor, deputy governor rather, because he will be in charge, directly in charge of supervision of projects. I am going to be in shots on Saturdays, supervising and going around the whole state to see and make sure that projects are being done with the monies they are getting. So any local government chairman in my tenure that thinks is going to be business as usual is making a big mistake.
Well, interesting indeed. Well, for you want to react to.
And then I'm not done.
Okay.
With Titus Uba, I will tell you that governors usually rub off on the people around them. Let me give you an example today. You can see my governor, His Excellency Samuel Otom. is beginning. He said in Port Harcourt, when they were giving him a chieftaincy title, that he has learned to commission projects because of his association with Governor Wike.
Well,
right?
People have called in a PA to Wike.
That's ridiculous.
Is that the structure of the party itself?
That is the most ridiculous thing and the funniest thing that I've ever heard in my 55 years of living. By the way, my birthday is on the 5th of January. Get your present ready.
No problem.
Now, he can't be Governor Wike's PA. But they are just very close bodies.
But the 5G.
Yes, and we're seeing positive things that are rubbing off on Governor Otom. And that's why I say all his commissioners, Titus Uba has not positively rubbed off on the governor. The issue of pensioners' money, gratuity, and workers' salary, which I believe, by the way, I mean, this is on a lighter mood, that village people have actually come into that issue, is so disheartening. It breaks my heart. That is the first thing I'm going to address in Benue State, because these are people who have given their whole lives to the state and they deserve to earn their living and get their salaries. Has Titus Uba been able to tell the governor? So what does Titus Uba have to tell the people of Benue State? Which other lie does he want to lie to the people of Benue when the people of Benue have clearly seen that he's incapable of being a good leader, an effective leader to bring dividends of democracy to them?
I'm very sure that the People's Democratic Party members of that party will definitely say your opinion is your opinion, but definitely they don't agree with that.
Yeah, it's not my opinion, it's what has been happening in the last 7.5 years.
They have a candidate that has been, majorly accepted by some persons.
You're correct, he was accepted, yes.
I'm talking about the cleric now.
Oh, yes.
Are you seeing him as a threat?
Who is that? By the way, is that man a gubernatorial candidate?
Well,
I think it's wrong to call Alia a gubernatorial candidate
for all Progressive
now.
Congress, well, for now, even with the cases in court, for now, we still recognize him as a candidate.
Oh, so you're preempting the court's decisions?
I'm saying for now.
He's not.
INEC has never said no to his candidature, so.
But it's in contention.
So until we get the results, until we get the feedback, media will tell you he is still for the All Progressive Congress (APC).
Well, the confirmation is supposed to wait until he clears his court case.
Well, let's wait for that. But he's also a candidate you must definitely contend with. Now.
Well, I don't call him a candidate yet until his court cases are over. Now, coming to the issue of the APC candidate, let me make it clear here that number one, I am so surprised that our father, His Excellency George Akume, has not learned his lessons. Not even him, also the governor, Samuel Otom, has not learned, they haven't learned their lessons about having someone that they will put in place, even if the person is incompetent, or someone that they could control, as I said. Just like you said earlier, that they want to put their person in place. I'm surprised that His Excellency Governor George Akume hasn't learned his lessons in doing that. Secondly, and most importantly, I want to say today on national TV that even if I wasn't contesting the governorship of Benue State, as a frontline leader of Benue State, as a compassionate mother of Benue State, as the yes mother of Benue State, I owe the people of Benue State the duty to tell them who not to vote for as a gubernatorial candidate or as a governor of Benue in 2023. And I can assure you that with Reverend Alia's antecedents, he is the only candidate that should not be voted for as a governor in Benue State. And now I'm talking about facts. Let me tell you the facts. Why I would have come out as a leader, as a frontline Benue leader, to tell the people of Benue not to vote for Hyacinth Alia. Number one, Hyacinth Alia isn't the person he's portraying to be. My beautiful Benue people, as you all know, Hyacinth Alia has been in priesthood for 32 years. Can Hyacinth Alia, just as the PDP asked him, show one project he's ever done to better humanity? or to bring succor or to show love to the people, to the downtrodden and the less privileged in 32 years of his priesthood?
Well,
the answer for us is no.
Politics can be interesting.
That we know of.
That's People's Democratic Party asking him that. You also said no, he has not.
I also know because I represented earlier in the National Assembly.
So he has not done anything.
Well, for humanity, there's nothing of note that we know of. Nothing of note.
Well, a lot of questions as regards his candidature too.
Yes, and then Alia also has a very huge allegation of having the habit of doing people's wives as a priest. He had a lot of sexual scandals.
That's a big allegation that I feel
it's an allegation, it's not me.
Well, there should be a fact before we bring such
it's an allegation. I said an allegation. I didn't say earlier two different things. I said he's alleged.
It's an allegation.
Yes, it's
but
an allegation.
It must be a fact before we even project such thing.
I'm not projecting it. I'm just saying why Alia is the worst candidate for the governorship of Benue State. Because as a leader, I represented Alia. In those days, I had some women who used to cry and say blah, 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 blah. And it's a known fact. He had sex scandals during the late Adasu's tenure. It's not a hidden fact. His sex scandals are not hidden. So how do you, women, so you want to have a governor that is alleged to be indulged in that, and then you have to sell your bodies, or what do you want?
Well, let's look at
secondly, if an ordinary man, if an ordinary man is doing that, we know he's an ordinary man. But as a man supposed to be man of God, that is abominable and is not tenable. And the Benue people don't want that. Thirdly, this is a man who is a reverend father, but how come everything around him is wrong? Is shrouded in falsehood, is shrouded in being done wrongly. I'm not the one saying. Engineer Barnabas Gumade is saying it in the courts. The former Attorney General of the Federation, Mike Ondaka, is saying it, that his emergence was Yahoo, as they term it locally in our place.
You know, politics can be very interesting and, of course, at the same time dirty. And a lot of people have said so many things about, you know. In fact, I must also bring to you that some of some people that feel that you might, you know, also not be the right candidate for Benue State have said, okay, the drama that you had, the domestic drama you had too, is also going to fight against. It's going to affect you. How do you react to that? Because my producer is actually telling me it's time for us to go. You have a very big one, you know, the allegation.
No, my husband cleared it. He said, one, how do I beat a man that I had never seen for 3.5 years?
But it was all in the media space that you actually...
It's sensation.
A domestic violence against your husband.
No, but my husband came out himself. I have the video. And said it wasn't me. And common sense. I hadn't seen my husband for 3.5 years. I didn't know where he was. He said it at the DSS station in Gariki that I had not seen, and the police asked, how does someone who doesn't know your whereabouts, it's there that I hadn't seen him, I hadn't gotten in touch with him
for 3 years,
for 3.5 years. So this was just mischief. My husband said it, and you know why that mischief came up is because of this governorship.
Interesting.
They knew I was going to contest the governorship of Benue State, and they thought they could smear me, but they made a mistake. They didn't get their facts right. They just got up and did it. And Alia had never visited the IDP camps, and he says he is rest for Benue until recently when he wanted the votes, and he took Her Excellency Oluremi Tinubu to the IDPs, who donated 5 million. So Alia is just the wrong candidate. I'm talking facts because I'm a leader. I'm not talking rumors, facts that I know of. So that's it.
Well, we wish you all the best. Well, the good people of Benue are also watching right now. Nigerians are watching, and they do understand that.
And the youths are my priority, because the youths will drive my government. Women too are my priority.
Well, my producer is really wanting me that it's high time we just say a goodbye. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for being part of the conversation. Yes, mother, and of course the.
And I pray yes, further changes of his allegations.
All right. Well, the gubernatorial candidate of the Zenith Labour Party. I've been having conversation with Chief Mrs. SHARON DABOH-FIASE. Thank you so much for joining us on the program.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
And that's the package on today's edition of Straight Talk right here on Bright Television. A very big thank you to everyone who has been part of it. My name is AYOBAMI ADEYEMO. Like I always tell you, I keep reminding you, play your part. I play my part. We have a better place called the Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Goodbye.
tell you for a fact that this election is between.
They sold farm recently for 100 million.
There's no meaningful development that can happen without peace, without us being united.
Arrest all unregistered vehicles.